bump it. I gotta share it.
It's okay.
At the end of the day, if you've been seeing this, like, don't get on me too much. This is the Sports Den or Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Type in Sports Den at checkout. You get 20% off of all your cigar needs. That's cutters, lighters, cigars, already priced very well, reasonably. Humidifier packs, anything that you, humidor, anything that you actually need. They sell this on thehumidor.com. It's one of the largest tobacco purchasing websites that you can get. Great guys. My boy Cigars Are. I got to get Cigars Are on an interview so we can talk about some of the things that you should do. And I got to do a better job of this. A lot of you guys have been asking me, like, hey, man, what do I smoke on Memorial Day? Whatever you got. That's what you smoke. Like, you got some weed? Hey, blaze it up. Blaze it up in remembrance of those who fought for us. And we're gonna give some shout outs to some Memorial Day history facts as a guy who's a history major. Just the things that I like to do. Again, for anybody listening, we're gonna do this all the way. I want to say I'm gonna try to do this all the way through the end of July. I might even double it for my birthday. I want to, we'll give, if we get to 1,000 views. Now, this isn't total. Literally, this is each one of them. If we get 1,000 views on the Periscope, which is Twitter, or at sportsden_live, you can go check it out. Like it, share it, DM your friends. If they make sure they comment under the page, not on the live, but you got to actually literally comment under the comments of my Twitter. We'll cash app somebody $100 for those who put their names under there. If you go to the Facebook, we'll give $100 on the Facebook. Again, you have to put your cash app in there. The YouTube stream, make sure you put your cash app on the YouTube stream. That's the one where I really want to get. The 1,000 is on the YouTube stream, but we'll take it any kind of way. Bottom line is, we want to make sure we're continuing to push the narrative, the name out there. FSU. His name is George, but FSU Butch is who won the we done it 3 times and we were only successful with last Wednesday's show, and boy, were we successful. Appreciate Stevie Stacks coming through with that, but also just getting the dialogue. Like, Butch's a cool guy, man. One FSU fan, love that shit. And Butch got a great story, man. One of these times, maybe, whoever wins it for my birthday, I got to check you, make sure you're not crazy. But if you're not crazy, then we may even bring you on the show, let you talk about what you're going to do with it. But $100 with the way gas prices is going, I ain't too proud shit. I'm going to put my own Cash App name under it because the money ain't coming out of my account. It's coming from a sponsor, and it's, it's a blessing. It's great advertising. Why spend money like to do direct marketing when this is the best direct marketing we can do? And we just giving it to the people. Everybody needs a little bit of reprieve. As I joke, we're gonna call it the Big Game Stimulant, the Big Game Stimulant, Big Games BS, Big Games Big Stimmy. That's what Big Games BS is gonna stand for. So again, if you just could use $100 or you know somebody who needs $100, go ahead and let's knock that out the way. Also, follow the different pages. There's a lot of different things that are going to be going on here. Next couple of months, man, I really want to get to 10,000 followers. For my own personal page, I want to get 10,000. I want to get 5,000 followers for our Sports Den page. A lot of things, a lot of reasons why. I got a book bag drive and a STEM camp that I want to do in July. Middle of July will be the STEM camp online. Stay tuned for that. We're really close to raising enough money. There's $7,000 for that camp. I think we would get a chance to put like 60 kids through that online STEM camp. They learn about sports and science in relation to how they can get going. And then we have the 3rd annual book bag drive and football camp. So we want to be able to. It's $36 a book bag. We'll have this stuff here on my personal pages. You can go to mftkfoundation.com. Yeah, mftkfoundation.com if you want to know more about what the book bag drives look like and the different things like that. We do a big thing. We shut down the whole hood in Tallahassee. And we out east, like we in the hoods when we do this stuff. No violence, all love, good music, giving away a week's worth of groceries. We give away 9 weeks worth of school supplies to kids. And if those kids stay in tune and stay in contact with us, they get a Christmas gift. at the end of the year if they're making good grades. It's something that we want everybody to get behind. Mayor Curry's got behind it in Duval. We've had a ton of people, a ton of support. When I go back home to Tallahassee, the main picture on the website, that's Bond Elementary School, south side of Tallahassee, considered one of the tougher neighborhoods in the city of Tallahassee. But we do it big, man. I love it, man. It's hell. I'm gonna tell you how important it is to me. Last year, I almost died doing it, but I was like, I'll die when I finish giving I die when I finish giving the book bags away, and I finished doing the book bag camp. And you know, I almost did. Disregard that number because that's what happened last year. We gotta get that edited, but we're gonna start off with this, man. Sports related. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics and the evil light skinned empire and Golden State Warriors for making it to the NBA Finals. I'll probably treat it the same way I've been treating it recently. I'll casually watch it through my friends. And I mean, if I'm at the lounge, if I'm at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, which brings you Big Games BS each and every time we shoot it, excuse me, we'll probably have a big watch party. We'll have all kinds of stuff that we'll be able to do here. Good drink giveaway, excuse me for the hiccups. But I am appalled by the mentality that some grown men are taking when it comes to sports. And I know a lot of I kind of feel the Miami, because I'm being a Florida-based show and being in Florida the majority of my life. I kind of understand the sentiment. Miami is bigger than what people think. And what I mean by that is the city of Miami, to Miami people, they get offended, but they don't realize this is how they act. Literally everything south of I-4, which basically splits the state of Florida down the middle. Well, kind of at a perpendicular line, but it's basically Daytona Beach all the way down through Tampa. Everything south of those cities is Miami. To me, to anybody who's not from Miami. And even if you're from Miami, the reason why I say that, those guys typically root for the Miami Hurricanes. They don't have no real reason to like the Miami Hurricanes. It's just the closest big city to them. Those guys root for the Dolphins. There's no reason for them to like the Dolphins. Besides, it's named after the city. They root for the Heat. There's no reason for them to like the Heat. Like, again, I talk about my guy. I'm going to make him popular one day. My guy, Dibby. My guy, Dibby, loves everything Miami except for the Hurricanes. He's a big FSU fan. But he's from Pompano. Pompano Beach is not Miami. It's about an hour and a half. It's no different. It's like a guy from Lake City, which is about as country bumpkin as you can be, but it's about an hour west of Jacksonville, claiming that they Jacksonville, that they rep Jacksonville. There's nothing wrong with it, but Miami, the people who are from there, they have more of a sense of pride. If they can't fathom that somebody from another city or somebody from that city or from the state of Florida could like a team that's multiple states up, and that'd be the Boston Celtics. All I've heard is Boston Celtics this or this, that, and the other. And, we the deepest team, one breath. Oh, well, we heard. And when the Celtics had a couple of guys out, well, that's all right. Y'all got this person. Then when they go from the deepest team in the Heat to when one of their star guys is out, oh, well, that's the only reason you're going to beat us. To this point right here, and this is the part that I hate. All this celebrating, just for y'all to get swept by the evil light-skinned empire. And, maybe that's true. I kind of believe that that the Warriors might be too tough right now for the Celtics, unless the Celtics play way better than they just played in this series. But I will say that that's pure haterism. Like, for an adult male, that's not acceptable. You've gone your whole life. You can be anything in the world you want to be. That's what we were raised at. If you're an 80s baby, you were told that you could be anything in the world that you want to be, including president. And I never believed that until Barry won. Then I'm like, well, damn, maybe I don't think we'll ever have another black person be president. Like, not that one. They hate that one. He's damn near perfect. I still don't believe he's really black. Well, I mean, I know he's half, but, like, he's the Manchurian candidate. Because you're going to get a motherfucker like me that's going to eventually run for president. and I'm gonna be Black Trump basically. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna throw hands. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say, and you're gonna be like, God damn it! I wish we had that well spoken Negro. Like, why can't we have guys like that? But I say all that to say is you chose to be anything in the world, but you chose to be a hater, and that's just unbecoming of men. Like, because here's what you would have done if, in fact, the Miami Heat would have won Game 7. You would be cheering and you would be believing that you were going to destroy the evil light-skinned empire when you don't have a chance. You have a worse shot than what these Celtics have because they're younger, they have more fire, they're actually a better team. Like I was actually silently rooting for them because all my my adopted family is all from Boston. Like they really from Boston, like Belle Biv DeVoe, Boston and shit. Like, Aunt Shelly telling me about how, she was there when like them cats was in the projects. Like she knew one of their original manager. So like I just say like, the celebrations and the things, like I get old curmudgeons, but like young guys, I don't know why we are in this thing where people can't celebrate victories. You know how hard it is to even get to a championship? People say shit like, act like you've been there before. Like, but it's people who've never been there before that are telling you to act like you've been there. How the fuck do you know what it feels like to be there? People used to, and I'm not going to lie to you. I used to do the same shit, but I don't tell athletes to do this anymore. I just tell them like, hey, celebrate with your teammates, kind of do it in a little bit, but like do it in kind of a little bit of taste. Like don't go over the top, right? But like I scored 10 collegiate touchdowns. Touchdowns were coming so easy that I just felt like, except my senior year, that I just felt like it was automatic. And, I just scored. There's a lot. My son did. Somebody posted it on Twitter, and shout out to Twitter, like, because that was I got to find out what guy did that, because you just made my hero level from hero worship of my sons increase exponentially. He posted my favorite is actually my favorite touchdown too. Was when I scored against one of my touchdowns against West Virginia, and I actually did during the quarantine. I did a breakdown of the touchdown, but what I mean by that is that touchdown was really fucking hard to get. Like I literally got stopped. Guy came across my face, stopped my initial movement, kept my feet moving, jumped over the pile, scored a touchdown. And I got up crunk because I was happy, but I got up crunk, ran to the sideline. Then I realized, oh shit, I'm on field goal. I got to get back on the field. But like, they're not easy to come by. Like,
first one.
Yeah, like perfect example like this. Dan Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks statistically to ever play.
Right.
He went to the Super Bowl his rookie season. Never went back. Never sniffed the Super Bowl after that. Like, these are accomplishments that you write down, that you grind, that you work all off season for. And out of 30 NBA teams, I believe, only 2 get the opportunity. Like the numbers just aren't in your favor. Like, so to get there is an accomplishment. Now, that's not the accomplishment, but it is like you got to celebrate the small victories. I heard a billionaire say, celebrate foolishness. And what he meant by that was, hey, when we get this victory right here, boom, if I got a guy who's never cleared any kind of profit, when he gets $1 profit, we're going to celebrate that. Then we're going to celebrate him getting $10 profit. Then we're going to get 100. Then eventually it becomes this, okay, act like you've been there before. But let me tell you what, I saw somebody post this, and it was real. Celebrities, like famous people who are at the top will tell you shit that just doesn't make any sense. They're like, hey, focus on your passions. Just do this, just do that. And they're not wrong, right? But it's easy to say that now that you've accomplished it. Right. Like, I like to do what you got to do so that you can do what you want to do, or do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do philosophy. That's more realistic, right? Like, all right, I'm going to be a busboy, or I'm going to be a waiter, I'm gonna go work. Like Kevin Samuels talked about this. Like if you a man, a lot of people didn't listen to this shit because it's not as popular. Men know how to get talked to any kind of way. But he's like, if you a man and you saying you broke and you don't work 60 hours a week, I don't want to hear that shit. And what he meant by like, go get your regular 9 to 5, then go get you a part-time job. Like you ain't like it's stack that part-time job money up, invest it, or do something so that you can eventually go and have something to be able to give to somebody. Like that's I tell people this all the time. Like I've been there before. I've worked not very long because I'm a terrible employee. Not so much I'm a terrible employee, but I do have a hard time submitting to people who I don't believe know what they're talking about or don't have my interest in mind, which is why I've always tried to be and sometimes it backfires on you, but I've tried to be the boss that I want, right? And what I mean by that is I try to care about my employees. I try to give them some stuff. I hear their complaints. I'll try to. Now, sometimes people take advantage of that shit, but that doesn't mean like I've been on the other side of it. So I get it. But like you got to, like I remember, when I first started out on my own with my training business, I worked as a substitute teacher. I was from one of my best friends who's about to be inducted into as a president of the city council, but I worked over there. I didn't do shit during the middle of the day anyway. So I worked, sat on the computer. I actually got more work done. But while I was getting that couple $1,000s to do that, I was also setting up myself to invest into my training business, and I was making more money. And then once I got self-sufficient, then that's when I was able to do the shit. Like, so I know Miles has heard me joking. And I joked with Bobby, and Bobby was like, he got $50 to do a show. I'm like, damn. That's it. And I said it more jokingly, and I probably should have fucking celebrated that because that was his first paid gig, I think. But, I don't get out of bed for a certain one, but I didn't start off that way. Like that's the thing that people got to realize. Now if you want me to train your kid, it's going to cost you a little bit because I don't have to do that anymore. I actually just probably lost a potential sponsor because my rates were too high. But I know what I give, right? I know what this sponsorship with the Sports Den or Den Media Group means because you're getting somebody who's going to embody it. Like I don't sponsor stuff that I don't use. But getting back to the point is that even the example that was used in my group chat about the Boston Celtics was that Tom Brady doesn't celebrate until he wins it all. And a simple Google search will show you that that's bullshit. Tom Brady, there's literally video of Tom Brady celebrating the NFC Championship after he won. And like these guys just won. Like it was like the game was over like midnight? Because for whatever fucking reason, the NBA has decided that all the games need to happen past all adults who works bedtime. Like every finals game is slated to start at 9 p.m. Have no idea. I mean, I do, but fuck the West Coast. Start that shit at 8 so that so that the people who matter on the East Coast can watch this shit and get up and go to work the next day and be functional human beings. This is why the NFL is superior to you in every way. Like, say what you want about the NFL and all this other shit, but there's only one game that starts at 8 p.m. Doesn't matter what coast. It's starting at 8 p.m. The 1 o'clock game, bitch, is 1 o'clock. It could be that's breakfast. You out here eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but as a pregame meal. But bitch, it starts at 1 o'clock because we know where the bread is buttered. Sports is God on the East Coast. Nobody told your ass to move out to the West, but that is a cool thing about the West Coast, though. That I will say is that you could go out, you could party, you could go watch. Like my last time, it was 4 years ago that I was in Las Vegas. I need to get back. I love Vegas. I say I love Vegas, but I got a chance to experience a lot of trips I go. I get to experience it in a different way because of the blessing of being able to play at a big time university that has alumni everywhere, and it was dope. But I remember I was in the club. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. We're just leaving the club that we were originally at, and we're headed to an adult chicken wing establishment. And I'm live tweeting while people are getting ready to go to church. That's what I realized. Like, I could live a whole different life on the West Coast. Like, I could get up on East Coast time. So like 5 o'clock in the morning, that's not extremely difficult. I can get up when East Coast people are up, do a couple of things, do my nap like I normally do. And at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, all the cool shit is happening. I could go to happy hour and watch all kinds of games that are in prime time on the East Coast. But at the same time, nobody gives a shit about y'all. But making it at 9 is not cool for us East Coast cats. But that's all I got to basically say about that. Congratulations to the evil light skinned empire, Golden State, and the Boston Celtics. I personally hope the Boston Celtics win. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's about as much as I'm going to get into my NBA analysis because I don't really know. I know how to play the game, but I ain't going to hold you. Like, I don't know the little nuances. And I try not to talk about shit that I don't know about because you end up sounding real fucking stupid on the social media. So shout out to those guys. Shit. All right, let's get back to this. Let's talk. Actually, let me tell you about my weekend. I know y'all weekend might be live. It might have been dope. I don't. This is my gripes. Maybe I should go ahead and just do Hate O'Clock, brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods, the most legit outdoor shop that you can get. Z, I want to do a video with bow and arrows. I've shot everything that you guys have there. You have some cool guns, but Z, I want to shoot a bow and arrow. I want to know how hard this shit is. I want to shoot a crossbow. I want to do some bold, dope shit. Like, you know how cool it is to kill something with a bow and arrow and then track it? How manly you got to be? Shoot it with a crossbow. Like, I feel like I'm like not a caveman, but like I'm like Attila the Hun or some shit. Like, that's dope. You ready, Mom?
Yep.
380s, $199. They got 9mm, a Taurus and a Canik, both very, very good, solid pistols. 9mm, $299. They've got pump shotguns. They've got all kinds of different things. If you want a special one that I can't talk about, just hit me up offline. I got you. All right, but basically, these guys are the best, and I believe that they're the best for this reason and this reason alone. They're not going to let you get a gun that you can't shoot, and and if you look like you pose a danger, they're more willing to turn away from the money that you could potentially give them than to just sell anybody a gun. And I think that is dope in this climate. They're about everybody having the right, but they're about responsible rights. And I think that they should be celebrated. Personal friends of the Sports Den. Love them. Good. I mean, look at that. That selection. They got a good selection, man. Also, it's not just that. Fishing. If you like fishing, is there. They got safes. What I think that people don't realize is that you need to properly lock up your equipment. Whole bunch of different shit, man. I love Z and those guys that do a good job. Go take the gun safety class. I think everybody in 2022 should take a gun, should be able to get your concealed to carry, get you a 9, and get you a pump shotty. Those are the best things, the most efficient things for home defense. And if you're a coward, stay away from guns. Period. If you obviously we've seen what happens when cowards have guns. It goes both ways. They murder innocent people, or they're too much of a bitch to be able to go in and stop people from doing that. So that good guy with a gun myth isn't necessarily true. But that's not what I'm getting into. My hate o'clock, again, kind of going into men being haters, but is men or women too, but I kind of know I expect it from women. And I'm not saying this is a sexist thing, but I just kind of women are conversational. They want to win and they want to be able to use their words, their linguists, blah, blah, blah. But men who have to have the last word on social media, y'all irritate my balls. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you come to somebody? Like, and then it's worse on Facebook because Facebook is starting to become like Twitter in a sense that but maybe my algorithm isn't set up that way. The only stuff I see on my page are people I follow. Now, when I go to Reels on Facebook and IG, it sets it up for things that I like to see. So I don't really know the people, so I don't really have a strong opinion about a lot of stuff. But a lot of things with me is about promotion. And it's about, getting people to understand about the sports. And again, that's why we're trying to give away the $100 on the Cash App. It's about promotion. It's about doing stuff. It's about having a sports show. It's entertainment at the end of the day. Sports is entertainment, no matter which way no matter how you want to slice it. So what do I mean by that? I post this thing about Travis Kelce and his beautiful ex-girlfriend, who we will welcome back with warm open arms to the African American contingent. I don't even Kayla something. She has recently come out and said that was a lie. That he has never not given her, he's never given her like only $100 or some shit like that. But it was funny at the end of the day because everybody says that black men are cheap and blah 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 and this, that, and the other, and that's why people go over and deal with them. But the Facebook post, like when people put "so" on your reel, I don't know how to respond to that. And then when I'm just like, so, well, if it didn't mean anything to you, why did you comment? And then you got to go back and forth. And then I'm like, all right, man, you won. And, a lot, you got the laughs on you. You get it. But, like, at the end of the day, you came and boasted my post because I just realized this, just like I realized the monetization on YouTube. I get paid by every interaction on the reels.
Yes.
So, like, I need it, I want it, but like, do you realize why you don't have me going back and forth with you? Because you're going back and forth with yourself. But I'm the only. I've said this, and I lost a friend to this because she was fucking sensitive. But I've said it to my god brother. I've said it to a lot of people on different things. There's only one person in this conversation who's getting paid to have a fucking opinion. And you can get paid. I'll support your page. But like when you do that, and then it's just like, even if we're having a dialogue, it's like, it is not just for stuff like this. This is frivolous. It's for things like school shootings and other things. Like, why do you feel the need to have to go back and forth? I literally question your manhood when you do that. Because at the end of the day, we're not on your page. See, if I was on your page, I get it, right? I'm going to say my piece. But it's your pay. It's just like if you call into when we were on that station that everybody says they despise, but they're starting to act more like. I'm in Jacksonville. You can't call my radio show and have the last word. You do know that, right? And it's bad for the show to continue to let you ramble on and do this bullshit. Because the people didn't call or they're not tuning in to hear you. They're tuning in to hear the person that they're used to tuning in to hear. So the same thing on my page. So like when you come to my page, nobody knows. And because that's the other side is that I do have a really good fan base. Like my sister's got it. I had to tell somebody, hey, you'll get knocked the fuck out trying to defend me. Talking about my sister wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, but like she had a different opinion. People didn't put two and two together. Boom, just boom. Like, hey, chill out. Like you're opening yourself up. And then what will happen is you're going to say you got bullied when you're the one who kicked over the hornet's nest. And nobody told your dumb ass the end of the conversation. Especially if you don't have any real passion about what the topic is. Same thing about my fight. I post random shit. One that's getting a lot of views is the little people. It's a midget fighting another full-size woman over their baby daddy. It's hilarious to me because, and I put like they probably got into it over something small. And it's just the way my brain works, man. I don't know. Same thing about like when I posted one of them Kardashian bitches is drinking a boyfriend's nut to try to get. I think again, I posted it random thing like I posted this another thing on mine is like what's your body count for what people you slept with. Oh, I thought you meant I thought you wanted to, I thought you saw my basement. And somebody puts, well, you're in Florida, you don't have a basement. Man, no shit. Don't fuck up the joke, man. We know I don't have a basement, man. What if I was talking about the Northeast? I do have a basement technically. My family home in Trenton, New Jersey has a basement. It's scary as shit. To this day, like basements are terrifying to me. I don't even know why those things. But like it's just again, a lot of this stuff is just like, and even my conservative friends who got in a tizzy when I talked about, Herschel Walker and how I'm afraid of CTE now because that motherfucker clearly got something. And who could win a spelling bee between Herschel Walker and Kendrick Perkins? It's just like, wow. Like, again, you don't know none of them motherfuckers in real life. And you are really, really upset about them. And like, I those are things that I have questions about that make me laugh, make me smile, and just a bunch of other shit. Like, but it's not that big of a deal, people. Like, if you don't like it, you don't rock with it. Just like it's like this. So I've got my phone up right now, right? So this is how. So let me make sure. So you see this right here, thumbs. Your thumb scrolls. You know how easy that is? You can just scroll. It's so much effortless with a thumb, right? But to actually engage somebody, so this is how I know you care. You have to hold your phone, like you have to palm it between both hands, and you got to type with your thumbs, almost like a drumline beat. That means you showing effort, like you're working out. Like you got to type your opinion between two thumbs about something that I truly spent maybe less than 10 seconds putting out. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate you helping feed my family by helping the algorithm continue to post more of my content onto your page. Nothing better than doing that, because once you've gotten a check doing this, it's actually pretty cool. Don't know how else to explain this to you. Nothing that I'm hating on, but this is definitely sports related. Chargers social media team, or Chargers PR, you're the real MVPs. Yep. Not only did you win the schedule release, because I don't even necessarily care for anime, but it was the most creative thing you could have done. And you took digs where they were supposed to be taken, and you did a lot of cool shit, right? So why are you winning now? You're winning now because you took two of the most popular female artists that ooze sex appeal. And one of them is my favorite. I am an unapologetic Cardi B fan. Like, Cardi B can do no wrong. You can bring up her history in the past where she robbed motherfuckers. Like, hey, listen, we all got a past. I don't want people digging into my past too much. I wasn't that great of a person back in the day either. And Meg Thee Stallion, who I don't necessarily care for as a rapper per se, but I get her rap style, and some of her songs I really like. See, with me in rap, I gotta be able to either replace the lyrics and make it masculine, but I gotta feel like I can vibe to it. Like, Cardi got this bar, like, say they want beef till I bring it to your doorstep, or say they want smoke until I bring it to your doorstep. Like, the way she be rock, I'm like, I don't care if she wrote it or not, but I be feeling like a dude wrote that shit. Like, Lil' Kim, in my era growing up, Lil' Kim on Quiet Storm had the dopest verse with two goons in a microphone with Havoc and damn, I can't even think of the dude's name. And Prodigy, Havoc and Prodigy. Hot damn ho, here we go again. Like, when she come in that business, she just boom. It's the real shit to make you feel shit. Bump them in the club shit. Make you knock out when you bump this drums to your eardrum, the wrong cut. Have a person OD because it's never enough. Like, I'm like, whoo, shit. I can vibe to that. I can go work out to that. I can go do a lot of shit. I don't really have that much with Meg, but there's a couple of songs that I do like with Meg. But why I bring them up? I don't really know how else to say it, but them hoes fine, man. And they made me realize a scene from one of the movies that came up when I was growing up. Scary Movie. There was a scene where, again, a woman that y'all just found out about. Man, I can't even think of her name. Fine black chick. That was, anyways. She's always unassuming, but she's funny as hell. She's always been in these movies. But Shawn Wayans was playing like a football player that was kind of fruity, and he made her wear shoulder pads. And it was like, I don't have fetishes or kinks, right? So I'm not weird like that. I think my friends are weird because they like feet, they like all this other. I just like sex. I like sexiness and sex appeal. But man, I ain't gonna lie, dog. these women in these shoulder pads, like, they kind of cute. Like now, Cardi is. I didn't realize how petite she really was, and Meg. I don't care what anybody's. So again, I'm a breeder. We talked about this on I think the last show with the chick from Best Buy, right? Like you women who are so worried about what men think about y'all. Meg Thee Stallion, easy 5'10", 5'11". She got to be over 200, right? That's a middle linebacker in today's game. I'm a fullback. We can ISO all day. Me and her, we can meet right in the hole if she wants to. But Cardi, I don't really know how tiny, but you see them walking. She wearing these gold pants. I thought she was running out that thing butt ass naked. But whatever. She just had a baby. I get it. So they're doing all these things. They got Meg running the 40. They got them trying to catch. One of the players think that they slick, telling Meg, "Hey, turn around, baby. I want you to catch it from the back or whatever." Like, listen, man, you ain't got to fool. Lie to your pastor. Don't lie to me. But seeing her tackle that thing, boy, all I'm saying is I was up for watching this.
Yeah.
And I don't know who set it up, if it was Cardi's people, if it was the Chargers, but I will say this, it was very smart because a lot of people watched it. You got Meg showing that she still has strong knees, all of these different things going on, man. Like, God bless. I could watch Cardi tackle that dummy all day. Matter of fact, tackle me. My favorite saying to tall women is "dunk on me." I just tell Cardi to just tackle me, baby. Like just for the culture. I saw a shirt that said Claire Huxtable in the streets, Cardi B in the sheets, or I want a combination of Claire Huxtable and Cardi B. Which, if you really find out who Phylicia Rashad is, I think Phylicia Rashad is probably more like Cardi B than a lot of y'all realize. This woman had been married like 3 times, and she's still fine. So, but that was great stuff on that. Another, keeping in the football theme, going from pro to college, there was a thing that I was a part of. I really had no choice. They just really asked me, and I had to sign some paperwork and send it back. I think it was like, I don't even know how long the O'Bannon case has been done, but basically, it was the reason why we have name, image, and likeness like we have it today is because Ed O'Bannon sued the NCAA over his likeness in the video games and not getting paid any kind of compensation years after he played. We all got to check if you were in the video game. I was in 3 of them, I believe. Yeah, my sophomore, junior, senior year. I sucked my sophomore year on the video game. I was good in real life, but I sucked on the video game. My junior year, I think they overrated me. I was like a 93, 94. Hey. And then my senior year, I think they underrated me, and I was at 89. So, but anyways, I got my check. I'm kind of sad about it for the fans and as a fan, but I needed to be paid. I believe in name, image, and likeness. I'm a proponent of it. But it did take away that $5,000 that I got, did take away something that I really enjoyed. So every year from that I can remember, probably at least since I was in 8th grade up until I think, was it 2014 was the last year that they did NCAA? It's neither here nor there. Every year I would go outside of GameStop or one of these places, and the game released at midnight, and it was always around my birthday. Actually, my son's godfather, one of the last times it came out, me and him both met up at the spot, and we would go, and it was like a yearly tradition. We would go, we would get the video game, and then and then you would go play it. When you got the video game, when I was in college, we used to actually make a deal with one of the guys in the mall, and we would give him some signed merch or something like that, and he'd make sure we got the game before everybody else got the game. Like, we wouldn't have to stand in line because they had that shit like a day or two in advance. But you want to know what your rating was. That was the thing. And you had to customize, make sure they had you right. But they always had me right. Visor, pacifier mouthpiece, little things on each arm, wristbands on the knees, speed TDs. Everything was legit. It looked good. I missed it. I actually stopped playing video games because of that. Like I haven't played Madden or because I would play NCAA, get up because NCAA came out in July, then Madden came out like mid-August. And then what you would do was you would take the draft classes from NCAA and you will upload them to Madden. And so that made the game that much more realistic. Somebody would go through all the efforts and make sure that they were current rosters. So, you pay like $5. They used to have memory cards, or then you would download them once everything went to once PlayStation 3 started doing the more cloud-based women. We're in PlayStation 5 now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 will let you go and download them from online or whatever. But I stopped playing. But now EA Sports is pretending like they got a little act right. And never in my life have I ever wanted to work a job as much as I kind of want to work this one. Like I'm thinking about putting a resume together and lying about everything. Like if any of you guys are in tech and create video games, if you could just give me a sample of one of you guys' resumes so I can know what I need to frame my resume for. But EA is seeking to fill 250 jobs at its Orlando studio, including several devoted to a college football game per OBJ update. I got this from Front Office Sports. So what it looks like is a college football game is seriously underway to come back. And not that mess that Madden's done where they kind of just pay 10 universities for you to be able to do your not franchise mode or dynasty mode, but like the player where you basically rise to stardom or whatever from the prep level to college. My son loves that part of Madden, but like this will get me back into playing sports, and I think like that's what the game is missing. Like I've never been into the RPGs or the first person shooter games because I don't like to die. Like and dying and respawning really fucks my head up. Like so, I just know I don't like those things. My son loves them. A lot of other people like them. More power to you. As long as you ain't trying to shoot up no goddamn school. As long as you know I'm gonna beat your ass if you try to do anything like that. We're good. Play them till you love them. But I was always a sports fanatic, and I think a lot of that had to do with that was the only games that my mother would allow me to play. Getting into keeping on this college sports level and getting into something that's really, really interesting because I think this guy's lawyer did a really good job, but I really think that this murder reeks of homophobia. And I'm not saying he deserves to go to jail. I don't know. I wasn't there. But when I look at the facts, and now if you're a juror, you have to look at the facts and also what the judge has told you to look at. And the thing about our justice system is there's a reasonable doubt. If there's any suspicion, you can't. So like I'm not a juror, so I'm not asked to have that. But like I'm still looking at the situation, understanding what the locker room is like. And also looking at the pictures. So I'm going to butcher his name, but it was very in the news a lot. It hasn't been covered as much, but it's never your when your name is besmirched. There's more to the besmirchment of your name than there is for the cleansing of your name. But former Virginia Tech football player Issa Etute, Etute, was found not guilty on all charges in the beating death of a Blacksburg man who lured him into a sexual encounter by posing as a woman on Tinder.
Whoa.
So what happened is this guy was on Tinder, found somebody that he thought was a woman, swiped right, I guess. Swipe right is when you like, all right, swipe right. They came with the idea that he was going to get some head. And, he met up with the person, got some head. I think a teammate was also trying to get with the same person. And I'm summarizing. What happened is there ended up being some jokes in the locker room that you might have, like, you got some head from a dude. Like, not that you, like, nah. And when you look at the dude, and what he says was, It was both times he went over there, it was dark. You couldn't really see anything. So the mood was set, I guess. And you know, I guess Buddy gave him some top. And the reason why I say it was is homophobic is because I don't care who you're fucking or who's fucking you. Like, just like a lot of stuff is people brag too much about their sexual conquest. Like, I don't talk about anything that I've done with any woman that I've done it with, because if I liked it, I don't want it to pique your interest. So even on this show, or even when you'll hear me, these are real stories that I've either I've been through or I know people who have been through it, but I'm never giving you the details. Because one, I don't want some of these people to be put out on blast. And two, I don't want you going over there trying to experiment your damn self. But the problem is with the locker room is there's too much braggadocio. There's too much, I just did this, I did that. So then what happens is, it's not just from a man, like obviously it's still a taboo subject. Like, they're like, oh man, you slept with this dude, you did this, you did that. And that's the dude that's pictured in that one right there, Miles. And you're worried about the opinions of others, but yet you're a grown man now. If you gay, Pimp C says this: if you gay, be gay. Guy rested dead. But the problem I always have is if you letting people bust your back up and it's in private while you letting everybody believe that you're one way and then you're bashing people, that's really where the bad part comes from. And I'm not taking any of this onus away from the person, because this is where it gets kind of like weird and wild, right? If you are a trans woman or even a trans man or whatever it is, like, you can't try to hook somebody by making them believe that you're something that you're not. You got the same body parts as we do. Like, and I get the fear that comes from that, but like, you got to be upfront. So what happens is, him and 3 of his teammates go over there, and he's going to confront the person to find out if this is real or not. So this is the wild part. Like, yo, why are you going back over there? You fooled me once, fine. What are you going to prove if this is a man? Exactly what you came over there to do. So you go over, and you're getting back in the mood, and Buddy's about to give you round 2. And then you're feeling around to see, because I don't know I know people, you can identify however you want to identify, but there are 3 ports of entry or exit, if you want to say, it doesn't matter, on a woman. There are 2 on a man. So you're trying to feel if you're kissing, but you're trying to, all right, so that's 1 port. You're trying to feel if there's an extra, there's somewhere else, and you can't feel that. And I don't remember if they say he felt some sausage or what he felt, but he found out that was a dude, and he gets up, and he's obviously angry, and he said that he saw him reach for something, and then what happens is, when they swept the house, they found that he had a knife mattress between the box spring and his mattress. The gentleman, or the whatever that passed, the transgender who passed. Now, he beat the fuck out of this person. Like, there's really it's one thing to neutralize the subject, but then there's another thing to do what he did. So kicked him, teeth beat in, face fractured, all these different things. Person died. Then I think, but really what they harped on was that there was a weapon, and then there was, he was told one thing and another thing. So, but a lot of ways that this could have been, he was charged for 2nd-degree murder, but he was acquitted based on self-defense. And it's like, sometimes you gotta take your L's. Funny story, Florida State, that I've heard. I don't know how true this is, but I heard about a legend in Ron Simmons, Farouk, if you know wrestling more than you know football, is that, and this was in the 70s when he was at Florida State, like late 70s. And he said he thought he took, I guess men could be fooled better, and I don't even know, whatever the fuck. But he says he goes into this room. He thought he took a woman home. He was drunk. And then he goes in there and it's not a woman, it's a man. He whips it out. And he's like, he ran for his fucking life. He was terrified. This is a big All-American. They probably could have whooped his ass. Ran for his life. Tells his friend, he's like, man, why'd you run? Like, what happened? He said, man, I was fucking terrified. That motherfucking dick was bigger than mine. And it was just, so again, as an athlete, you have to ask yourself what some of these encounters are really worth. You know, even when and you're taking a gamble every time you use these social, I don't even understand why people still use Tinder, use all these things. Like, you can't use Facebook and Twitter. Like, bitches is just as fucking reliable as anything else. Go look at the pictures. Like, I gotta see, and you gotta ask more questions these days. I need to see it, unless that's truly your persuasion. Because if you don't care, then you shouldn't have cared. You got the desired result. But like for me, I need to know. I like women. I don't like men. Or I don't need you to identify. I need somebody else to identify you as a woman. That's my preference. I have no hate. I actually grew up with it. I've talked about it before. Grew up with a transgender in Tommen. My godbrother Jarrell is gay. My cousin Joey, got arrested dead. He died of AIDS when I was 17. Actually, his funeral was when I took a recruiting visit in Atlanta. Actually, I scheduled my recruiting visit up in Atlanta based upon that. Love Joey to death. I'll whoop your ass over Jarrell. Tommen will just whoop your ass. I've seen that shit before. That motherfucker 6'5", 275, the size 16 pump. I've seen him beat the shit out of people who had homophobic gestures. It ain't end well for them. But I like women, and I just need to know, like, one of the easy tells, I just tell guys nowadays, man, listen, bro, I ain't on the Kevin Samuels tip like that. I think you should, if you want to make sure the clarity is easy, does she have a child? Does she have more than one child from more than one individual? You know how you know? That way, okay, so 2 other motherfuckers was fooled. If that does, in fact, become a man. But you know it's very hard for a woman to birth 2 creatures and not be a woman. So, like, that's an easier way to, check this stuff, man. But at the end of the day, man, like, be who you are. I have a few teammates that were alleged to be, that batted both ways. At the end of the day, I don't care. What I cared about was, can they do their job effectively? I don't care if you fucking a different woman every night. I don't want to know that shit either. I just need to know, can you score touchdowns? Can you make tackles? Can you do whatever you need to do? Can you do your job to perfection? And I damn sure don't need you in my business knowing who I'm slaughtering and who I'm not. Like, just know it ain't hurting over here. Like, I think, when people be like, hey man, I've been watching your social media and I can't tell whether you this or that. And I'm like, man, shit, minding your business is very difficult in 2022. It's very hard. Hell, I made a post the other day. Only reason you see me with my boys is because y'all motherfuckers made people believe that black fathers don't exist. If people actually gave black men the same amount of love and credit for being the good fathers that we are as they give everybody else, y'all wouldn't even know I got goddamn kids. And that's just, all I gotta say about that. But on a lighter note, it's Memorial Day. Memorial Day. Not Labor Day. Yeah, Labor Day is for everybody. Veterans Day is for military who's alive. So that's when you thank people for their service. Memorial Day is for the people you can't thank for their service. And that's just, that's an unfortunate thing. But I want to leave you guys with the reason why Memorial Day started. The reason was a lot of things. And unfortunately, I'm going to pick up this phrase with the great replacement theory that's being pervasive in today's culture from people who are afraid that they're going to be replaced. We don't learn about history in the correct origins. And I think it's sad because I'm a lover of history. The origin of Memorial Day traces back to 1865, when freed slaves started a tradition to honor fallen Union soldiers and to celebrate emancipation and commemorate those who died for that cause. And that's consistent to what people say. We always talk about Memorial Day as to take a step back and think about those who fought for our freedoms. And it started with Black people really giving honor to those who truly paid the ultimate sacrifice against people who looked like them to free people who look like me. And even people like me who who sacrificed and laid down their lives for that. In 1865, Black people in Charleston, South Carolina, held a series of memorials and rituals to honor unnamed fallen Union soldiers and celebrate the struggle against slavery. One of the largest memorials took place on May 1st, 1865. As the Civil War ended, Confederates had converted the city's Washington Race Course and Jockey Club into an outdoor prison. Union captives were kept in horrid conditions, and at least 257 died of disease and were quickly buried in a mass grave behind the grandstands. After the Confederate evacuation of Charleston, Black workmen went to the mass grave site, reburied the Union dead properly, and built a high fence around the cemetery. They put on the fence, they put the martyrs of the race course. The free Black people, who then, in cooperation with white missionaries and teachers, staged a parade of 10,000 on that track. The procession was led by 3,000 Black school children carrying armloads of roses and singing the Union March song, John Brown's Body. Several hundreds of Black women followed with baskets of flowers, wreaths, and crosses. Then came Black men marching in, followed by a contingent of Union infantrymen. Within the cemetery, Black children's choirs sang before a series of Black ministers read from the Bible. After the dedication, the crowd dispersed into the infield and did what many of us do today on Memorial Day. They enjoyed picnics, listened to speeches, and watched soldiers drill. I want people to remember those who have fallen in all kinds of different conflicts. But remember this as an opportunity to unify people. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that we kind of purport or talk about as America is the land of the free, home of the brave. And remember that in every day, it takes your freedom has to be fought with bravery or has to be defended with bravery. We've seen many acts of cowardice over the last few weeks, but we've also seen many instances of bravery. The Border Patrol agent down in Texas who went in off duty to kill the gunman. The mother who got handcuffed, got somebody to unhandcuff her, ran into the school to get her 2 children while an active gunfighter, while there were 19 or so police officers sitting out front that went in there. And now she's alive, but again, we need more bravery. We need less talk, less thoughts and prayers, more people standing up for what's right, and more people doing what's right. And that's what will make America great again. It's not about pomp and circumstance. It's not about ritual. It's not about talking. It's about doing. It's about action. We started the show off joking about the comments of the Celtics and acting like you've been there before. But the thing about bravery and the thing about it's being celebratory of things that you've never accomplished, but the bravery it took to be able to step front. Now, this is a more serious matter. The other one is frivolous in the grand scheme of things. But at the end of the day, we got to be more brave. We got to be able to stand up. We got to be able to support each other a little bit more. But no greater way than to support us by checking out our YouTube channel, DIM Media Group, subscribing. We're at I think we're at 130 something subscribers. I'm not 1,000% sure, but not 130. Whew, Jesus Christ, 1,300. I wish we were 130 subscribers. The day we get that is the day I'm giving more than just $100 in giveaways. But we had 1,300 subscribers. Much appreciation to everybody who's done that. Please, let's try to get this before our show on Wednesday. Try to get this to 1,000 views on YouTube, 1,000 views on the Twitter, 1,000 views on Facebook. You can do that by telling a friend to tell a friend. Like it, watch it, retweet, comment. That's how you grow the channel. You don't have to. I don't need any money from you. That's why we want money from sponsors and we want money from the streaming services. So I appreciate everybody doing those things. Just stay tuned too for the book bag drive. I will start all of the fundraising activities on June 1st, Wednesday. It's $36 a book bag. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get 2,000 to 2,500 book bags between Duval County and the Big Bend area. And we've also got some young athletes that we may end up giving some starter packs to be able to help them do book bag drives in their respective cities. One, Michaela Edenfield, who's a part of Micanopy 1851. I think she wants to do a book bag drive back home. And we got a kid, Kaylin Deloach, who's a part of Micanopy 1851, who would do a book bag drive up in Savannah. So we're going to make sure that these young men and women have all the tools that they need. But the biggest support could be coming from us. $36 a book bag, fully stuffed book bag, and the kids or family gets a week's worth of groceries. And I ain't talking about bullshit groceries either. They eating what I eat. I don't give what I wouldn't put in my own house. So we're talking about shrimps. We're talking about all kinds of good food. All of that is encompassed in $36. So if you have it, please let us know. We'll have the Venmo, the PayPal. All of this is tax deductible. And Mentors for the Kids Foundation is a 501c3 charity. Please check us out. All those different things, man. It's 100%, all proceeds 100% tax deductible. And I believe we're at about a 97% rate of how much money actually goes to that. We only pay, the only fees we pay are if you use a credit card. Obviously, we got that 3% comes out of that for the most part. And then I have somebody whose job is to make sure everything is managed properly. And she doesn't do that for free, but she does a great job. But that's the only two people who are paid. Everything else you'll be able to see. It's fully tracked pictures, little smiling kids getting that. Book bags are specific for the elementary school kids. They're book bags with inspirational messages and photos on it to make them love school. Education is key. And one of the proponents that I want to push always, education and athletics are what changed my life. But education and athletics are gateways to more things. You don't have to have a wicked jump shot at slaying crack rock anymore to be able to get out the hood or out of your situations. There's tech, there's the arts, there's so many other things that are creative that we could do. We'll do some big game sports boot camps for kids who have aspirations to be in media. The biggest thing is to try to, if you want to help change your community, even without me, whatever you're good at, find somebody who doesn't look like you and make them proficient in what you're good at. And watch how quick we can make America great, and watch how quick things can get changed. So on that note, man, love you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with me. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.